Alright, welcome back to a new video. In this video, I show you how to load character thumbnails. So you'll see over here in the top left that my character thumbnail is there. And that's basically because I loaded it when a player joined the game. And in this video, I'll also show you how to create a sort of place, um, I don't know the word. What's the word? A placeholder. Yeah, a placeholder image for any moderated player's image. So for example, I have my friend account, aka my alt account here, who has this sort of moderated look, and basically that prevents that image from being loaded. So I'll show you how to make a placeholder image for that. And let's get started. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is basically use this player's get user thumbnail async, and keep in mind this yields, so if you use it, you'll have to wait until it sort of finishes to get anywhere else in the script. So basically, it gets a content URL of the player's avatar image using their user ID, the thumbnail type you provide, and the thumbnail size. And thumbnail sizes, you have all these sizes. I would always recommend the largest of size 420 by 420, but obviously you can use whatever you want. But obviously, if you use the larger one, then there will be a higher resolution. It won't look as pixelated, things like that. So unless there's like some content limit where smaller is better for what you're doing, I would totally recommend using the highest, and it shouldn't be that it shouldn't be that hard to run for any clients really. I mean, that's only 420 pixels, which, um, yeah, isn't really that much if yeah, just in general. So then you have these three thumbnail types you can choose, and it sort of gives you an example here. So you have the avatar bust, which is the upper chest and head. Then you have avatar thumbnail, which is the entire avatar, and then headshot, which is the head, just the head, and maybe some accessories and some shoulders, whatever's sort of in that area. So all you need to do to define this, as I said, is to define the user ID, thumbnail type, and thumbnail size. So what I'm going to do is basically, although this isn't a practical example, I'm going to do it for me. So basically, whenever a player joins, this image is going to update to that player's image. So I'm going to define players first of all, and I'm going to do this in a server script. So basically, we can run the player added event and then fire it and give it to all clients through this remote event. So I'm going to say local players equals game get service players. And then I will say local replicated storage equals game get service replicated storage. And then I'll have remotes, and I'll say local image sender event equals replicated storage, wait for child image sender. And I'll also go ahead and copy all these values to the client script so they have them, because it's pretty much the same thing from there. And then players.player added connect function, and then we'll get the player when the player joins the game. So then after that, I want to say local user ID equals player.user ID, just like that. And then what I'm going to do is basically say image sender event fire all clients, and I will send over the user ID when I do that. So basically, whenever a player joins the game, the server is going to send to all clients the fact that a new player has joined, and it'll give their user ID, and then the client can move on from that. So now with our image sender event, we'll say image sender event.onClient event connect function, and then I will go ahead and get the user ID that I sent, because you'll see I gave this parameter here, so you can use it right there. So now I've done that, I basically want to define the thumbnail size or thumbnail type and then thumbnail size. If you've never defined it twice, two variables in the same line, it's pretty simple. You just add a comma between the two values. So you'll see here, I'll define my thumbnail type, and I will do a headshot, and then I'll add a comma, and I'll define the other value. So enum.thumbnail size dot size 420 by 420. So now that I've done that, what I want to do is basically say local content is ready, and is ready means is not moderated, sort of. So you'll see I have, in just a second, you'll see I have my friend account right here, or not my friend, I mean it's me. It's my alt account. And this actually got moderated because it has a moderated item in it, which is a Minecraft shirt that I was wearing for a meme. So yeah, that got it moderated. So you'll see how that works, or how that looks in a second. And I'll set that to players. And this has two values in it by default. You don't need to define two different things. So I'll say players and then get user thumbnail async, and then I will just pass in all of these values that I've already defined. So I'll say user ID, and then we will give the thumbnail type, and then the thumbnail size. And just like that, we're almost ready to do that. So now I'm gonna set the player image. If you didn't notice, this script is in here, so I can say script.parent.player image because it's in there with the player image. And then I'll say dot image equals, and then I will set it to content. And you'll see now that this should pretty much work just fine. And now what I'm going to do is go ahead and join this game in just a second. Okay, so I'm in the game, and you can see pretty much instantly, well, maybe not, I probably clipped that, but it loaded within 1 to 2 seconds of me joining. It just showed my headshot here. And now let me actually show you what happens when you get a moderated image and sort of get that perspective. Okay, so you'll see now here it's blank because I have my alt in here. Ooh, oh, whoa, whoa, okay. Incredible. They're just flying or something. So you'll see this image went away, and that's because there's no image for this player at the moment. So what I'm going to do is create sort of a placeholder image, or actually I already have one. So what I'm going to do now that I'm done with this, is if you want to do this, you can. I'm sure they'll make a placeholder image. Roblox will at some point. But I'll say if is ready, and that means if the image is ready to be placed and there's actually content there, then we want to do what we want to do. Else, what I'm going to do is say script.parent.playerImage.image equals, and I'll give my own image here. Okay, so what I've gone ahead and done is just copied the image ID that auto, or the image URL that auto generates whenever you make an image thing. My English, good. My English, great. Okay. So basically, this link should get it to work. And actually, I'm sure you could actually just put in the ID that we got, and that would give us an appropriate URL that would work. But in my case, okay, so I just reset this back to how it was. What I'm going to do is publish the game and go in on my moderated account again. So you'll see here, join in the game, and it should load the other image instead. And that's just because it's already set up, sort of, to be the correct image. So now you'll see here, it sort of has this image. And I guess to prove this, I could also delete this because it could have not changed, you know. So what I'm going to do is delete that and then rejoin. Let me just publish this again and go into here. Make sure the server's still not running. All right. And you'll see it should still have that image, even though I published it. And yeah, there it is. And yeah, that should be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel, as well as turning on post notifications to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Also, if you want, go ahead and join the Discord server to get notified with other developer projects and just information. If you're having any issues, go ahead and ask me or someone else there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Goodbye.